everybody, Justin Worden, and you are watching What's New in Electronics. We are here on the floor of IPC APEX 2025 in Anaheim, California. I have Monty, the new Vice President of Sales and Marketing of Data.io. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you in this seat, but let's break it down very easy.
Sure.
What is Data.io?
So Data.io is a global manufacturer of device programming equipment, so ICs. So companies around the world, in order to bring their products to life, will use our programming equipment to take their code, put it on a chip, an IC, that goes into their end product that powers the world. Light bulbs, automotive, refrigerators, robotics, you name it. If it's operating in the world, it's probably been programmed on Data.io. This is a company that's been around for 52 years that pioneered this industry. Early in my career, I joined a competitor and fell in love with this whole idea of what we do has an impact on our lives. And so I kind of fell in love with the industry, the customers, how they make things. So years later, I find myself in a position to come back into the industry, joining the pioneer of the industry, Data.io.
What has it been like the first 6 months? It's got to be a little bit of a whirlwind, but now that you have that the competitor's point of view,
Yes.
What is it about Data.io that really is changing the industry?
I think what changes from our lens is, and let me go back a little bit, not just being have worked in the industry, sold the programming equipment, but I was also a user. For years, after I left the OEM, I went to work for a company called Source Electronics. That was one of the largest programming houses in the world. And they were later acquired by Avnet, and that expanded even further. Bill Wentworth was the founder of that company and believed in service and supporting our customers. So my lens was from the user perspective. How do we use it? How does it impact the supply chain, the quality? So now with Data.io, I look at it more of how we use it. So the new thing is, as you asked, what's new is our focus isn't just let's sell equipment. It's how are they using it? How are they supporting their pre-programmed parts supply chain? From the minute they bring in parts to, are they doing design work? Are they doing MPI, first articles? Once that's approved, then it goes into production on big production programmers for volume programming, and then QC tests. So we're looking at it a little differently. We're looking at it from how our users use the equipment, and that's probably what's been exciting and new. And having within our own four walls, our engineers and our staff and our developers say, gosh, how are our customers using it? And focusing on not just here's a piece of equipment, but where does it fit in different areas within their organization? So they make that quality product that impacts our lives, right?
So we're gonna transition the conversation a little bit to some of the hot topics that we're gonna probably be talking about for the next few years.
Okay.
AI, data migration, predictive maintenance. How is that playing into what you guys are doing on a daily basis?
Well, I'm glad you brought up AI. We're looking at that from how do we automate things? How do we use that AI to drill into data as to what should we be doing next? How do you improve your overall process internally, but then how does that impact customers as well? So it's pervasive, it's seeping in, and it's really exciting. Try to figure out ways to apply that. I think our first step is, how do we leverage that smartly internally to be a better company in today's world? And then you've got AI technology that does require programming. Those are big, dense devices that need solid technology to program it. So we look at that today, and in our roadmap out to 2035, how do we prepare ourselves and position that product to support those customers today and in the future?
One thing that we're noticing as we continue down this AI, well, it started with like the Industry 4.0 movement a few years ago, and now it's like the AI. Even when you're just selling a piece of equipment, now there's this whole software and training. It's almost like you need a PhD engineer to handle the software. So what are you guys doing at your company to make sure that when someone does bring in a new piece of product, they're up and running very quickly?
Well, we've talked about that. The engineering, the small desktop units, make it a programming center out of a box. The software easy to use for engineers to develop code, to program their parts, so they have this confidence level of, wow, that's going to do exactly what I need to do before it goes onto production. So yes, so using some of these tools, even the AI, to create more help tools in our environment will help those engineers, because they want to do what they do best, right? And that's the design work and the development work. So we're looking at those tools to improve that process. We want them to have a good experience. We want them developing that latest and greatest technology on our platform.
Ooh. I hope they got that one. That was perfect. You nailed that. They're going to cut that out, and that's what's going to be used on the LinkedIn page. So
well, this is the story we talk about all the time, and I think that's really important to look through that user's lens, right? Like I said, our CEO, Bill Wentworth, and I go way back and have used that equipment, so that is how we're looking at the market today. How we used it, how our customers use it. And we want our employees to use it as well, because their experience is going to be really important as we develop those tools for the future.
Well, Monty, you've interacted with Data.io in every point of view and shape and form as you possibly could. It's only fitting that you join forces as the VP of Sales and Marketing. So again, congratulations.
Thank you so very,
and
very
for
much.
those that are watching this and learning about you guys for the first time, how can they get a hold of you?
Reach out to us at dataio.com.
All right, Monty.
I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it, brother.